Welcome back to Keep On Collecting. Today I've got Matt here, and I've got a very special guest from YouTube, and it's Scott Crusher.
G'day.
And Scott's come down to look at my collection and see if he wants to keep on collecting after he's gone through it. So we'll get into it and have a look.
All right, bring Scott in. We're ready.
Wow. Now, I know this is a family-friendly channel, but my first reaction is not particularly family-friendly. This is unbelievable.
Oh dear.
My God. Where do I don't know which way to go.
Well, yeah, it's a bit overwhelming, isn't it?
It is overwhelming.
So you don't know where to start.
I'm getting that Toys R Us feeling or World for Kids feeling. Or, you know, oh man, this is crazy. Andrew, when it comes to your collecting, I mean, would you rather have a little bit from a lot of different toy lines, or you're a completist when it comes to the toy lines you like the most?
Yeah, I'm definitely not a completist. My main stuff is Star Wars,
yep.
But I do like action figures in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 98, yeah.
Anyway, and then so all of a sudden these guys were coming in and going, racking up the whole shelf. And they go, what's going on? And then they found out that the $20 toy they're buying, they're selling for $50 on this thing called eBay.
Yeah.
So they set a limit. They said you couldn't go buy more than 2 items in a transaction. But all you did was go put it in your car and go back and buy the rest.
Yeah.
So they gave that up pretty quick. And and once they found out the craze, that started the craze back again when the Phantom Menace came out and the action figure craze sort of thing of collecting. I mean, people collected stuff obviously, but more of a secret thing in their basement type of thing. And And now that's why it's so hard to find action figures at flea markets and things like that. Because people go, oh, they're action figures, and they know they're collectible.
That's right. Even if they're from toy lines that aren't, or they're in rough shape, and then they're not necessarily worth it. You know?
Yeah, well, that's right. So,
which is your question from earlier, Scott, about like, has that era gone where you can find those $6 million mans for 50 cents?
Yeah,
I think they have gone.
They have gone because people are very, very wary of it now of what things are worth. And
if anything, it tends to be the opposite, where you see listings on eBay that are way overpriced, where people just think because it's from the 80s, it must be worth that much.
Yeah.
But I often wonder when you have toys to this day that are mint in sealed box, especially figures that are punched, so they were on a peg.
Yeah.
How did that work? Is it all leftover shop stock, or did some kids actually go, you know what, I just want to display that?
I'd say when they go find it and it's mint and I'd say they've been put away. The parents go, how often do you get your present for your kid? And you go, I'll put it away for their birthday coming up. And then you've forgotten about it and you bought something else. So a lot of them would have to be like that.
Or like, grandma buys the same thing that, your auntie bought and you've got an extra one that just gets put away or something like that.
You just put it up in the cupboard and 30 years later they're pulling it out and it's worth $1,000, It's
unbelievable. But I love the fact that you've got your franchises where you've gone all in on, like Star Wars, but there's so much variety in here. It's crazy.
Yeah, I like the variety. I think if I just stopped Star Wars, I mean, I enjoy it, but I think it's like, oh yeah, another Star Wars item, throw it on the pile.
Yeah.
There's nothing to excite me, sort of thing, unless they did.
Love the Ghostbusters stuff. Come out, And then straight away, did you go and get the vintage ones as well?
I was collecting them simultaneously.
And at that point, were the vintage figures already crazy?
That started to
price?
creep up, yeah. So once eBay came in,
yeah, eBay was a game changer.
It was a big game changer, yeah. When people found out that that old toy I've got in the thing, I can get $50 for it.
Well, because it just created transparency in the price, in the market.
In fact, one of the first eBay ads I used to have, eBay ads to promote it, was this bloke in the bed, and he looked up and he had his Millennium Falcon vintage one there. And he goes, I wonder how much it's worth. And then all these heads popped out of the bed, go, I'll give you 50, I'll give you 60, I'll give you 70. And, and that was actually then they were promoting it to sell vintage toys.
Okay, so in the early days of eBay, they were positioning it as a vehicle specifically for toys.
Yeah,
vintage action figures and vehicles, yeah.
Star Wars figures
This
everywhere.
is definitely old school toy store vibes. I love it.
That came from Toys R Us, actually.
Did it really?
When they closed down, I got it for $10 or $20.
You got a piece of Blockbuster downstairs? You got a piece of Toys R Us?
Yeah, because to get these sort of display units, they're very expensive when you buy them new. And
I want to stop and ask about everything, you know what I mean? Okay, so we've got the big Jim and
the old,
$6 million man.
yeah, so they're 70s. So Big Jim was 70, so that's like the one I had when I was a kid.
Yeah. But not the actual one you had as a kid?
The only thing I've got left
toy.
of the kid is the wheels.
Okay.
The other one's probably in the landfill somewhere in the back of Greystones.
It's always a shame to think about.
I don't want to think about it.
Well, not just like your own collection being in landfill, although that obviously hurts, but just how much of this treasure is in landfill.
That's right. And
so I'd like to think in collecting we're doing our bit to keep this stuff out of landfill, as well as for selfish reasons.
oh, okay. I thought he was
Ocean Warrior.
I thought he was like the runt of the litter or something.
Yeah, his brothers ate all his food.
I thought, that's definitely the one they pick on.
This one skips the gym.
Has it got any writing on the bottom or anything?
Just made in China. I couldn't find a year.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like something had been on his.
Yeah, he might have had a backpack or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I may as well channel that time that I've got into doing something that is still kind of in the hobby of enjoying these vintage collections.
Well, I find it for me it enhances it because I can get things out that I wouldn't normally get out now.
For sure.
Yep.
Sort of like those Pennsylvanias.
Yeah.
They would have stayed in their box till I died.
Well,
and
you're 100% right. Like, we don't necessarily play with toys. I mean, these days. I mean, other than we pose them, we display them, but we're not that play isn't there. So, talking about it, going into the history, reliving the memories attached to the items when you pick them up.
That's how we play.
That's now how I play. I mean,
So
it's not just about something that sits on the shelf and I look at it for a few seconds once a week. It's about kind of enjoying it in that way.
Well, that's right. When I do look at it, and I imagine actually playing with it.
Yeah.
I do actually imagine playing it like it was when I was a kid.
Well, the items that I had as a kid, I absolutely do think about that, and sometimes I'll mention those things in the videos. Like, I'm working on a Ring Raiders video at the moment. I picked up a couple of Ring Raiders items that I had as a kid.
Yep.
And I was reading on the card back some of the backstory to the toy line, and I'm like, shit, I didn't know about any of that as a kid. I just did this with it. I played
that's right. The
that's
blurb,
what we do. So and the other cool thing about it is, like, watching your guys' videos, I don't have in my collection everything that I want. I mean, I never will have everything that I want, but you watch different collectors' videos, and it's kind of like it lets you enjoy it from afar, kind of thing.
if I sold it, I'd have to sell everything but my Yoda puppet.
Really?
Because I couldn't bear to sell 3/4 of it and keep 1/4 of it.
So, but you wouldn't think, well, you know what? I'm not that invested in turtles, or that's just an example. I'm not that invested in. I'm not going to even think about Star Wars, obviously. But you wouldn't just maybe go toy line by toy line.
Because it's hard. It's hard. It'd be like, okay, well, which limb do you want cut off?
Okay.
You know what I mean? You know,
which of the two dogs do you want to get rid of?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's sort of that type of mentality.
I feel like I had those pajamas as a kid.
Yeah, well,
Nobody's watched my video on big things.
Shame on you.
Scott's just saying that his most precious thing is big things. Hated by everyone but me. I had them all lined up in the front room. There was still heaps of them.
So, like, how long did it take you to set the room up like this? Or I mean, did you do it bit by bit? Because obviously this is not the first house you've lived in where you've had this scope of a collection.
No, I had a garage roughly about this size. And it was gyprocked and all that sort of thing.
Like finished.
Finished, yeah. So the only problem is it was colour bond. It was a good colour bond garage. It was pretty high end, but for some reason still the dirt would get into it, and then I tried to block it off and all that sort of thing. And basically it got to the point where I couldn't walk into it because it was just stacked full of stuff.
Yeah.
And I couldn't display anything or anything.
So was there an intervention or?
Yeah.
Yeah, the intervention was I have to get another house.
Okay. Seems like the most reasonable course of action.
Well, it's like a hermit crab, you know. A hermit crab, we know he grows out of his shell.
Yeah,
he has
that's
to get
right.
a bigger shell. So.
Yeah.
Decent.
Yeah. But not just like, but not just corners, but you kind of almost wall areas off into alcoves and then use the barriers between the alcoves to display. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, well, I had to, you know, you got to fit. Well, we got museums at the work, and I went, I tried different things. I tried things on, because the way they have their museums in anatomy is they have the showcases, and they're not just road.
Yeah.
They're sort of angled like that, and you can go around them.
Angled to segment space,
Yeah,
into different spaces.
and it's just really well done. And if I had those showcases, that's what I do. But
well, so when you did this though, when you set the garage up like this, did you make a plan of, I'm going to put this stuff in this corner, I'm going to wall this off?
No, originally I just dumped it. So when I got here,
just back the moving truck up and
all
just
those containers had double that, and this was just full of containers.
Wow.
And the showcases, and in fact I had to leave some showcases behind.
Really?
They wouldn't fit on the truck, and I wasn't going to get a second truck just to take some showcases down.
So how long did it take to get from an empty garage to this?
Well, so we it's bound to happen. Don't worry about it. He just took the value off that. And anyway,
it's near mint now,
yes,
not mint.
So we had the two places. So before we sold that one, I could just move things down.
Oh, gotcha.
So
So you had a period of time where you could.
I moved everything down in my car.
Okay.
All this moved down in my car.
How many trips did that take in the car?
Well, quite a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was staying down here and cleaning the house because we had it repainted and all that sort of thing.
Let's play a game called Where's Scott and Where's Andrew? Oh, there they are amongst the toys all the way down there.
Just look for this lightsaber.
Yeah.
You know, they were selling like socks and things like that. So
Yeah.
I'd go there, wait till they were, there was nothing left. I'd go, what are you doing? Oh, we're going to crush it. And
Really?
so I'd go, yoink, and I'd run home with it.
That's a good idea.
And I said, because it fits the action figures perfectly.
I really wish that when the video stores started closing down, I got some, some racks and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I could have got the racks, but I thought... It seems that the Kenner videos seem to get the hits rather than the newer stuff.
They're never an immediate hit, but just a gradual build.
Yeah.
Like
Yes,
people
that's right,
discover
yeah.
them and they go,
With
oh,
that
wow.
said, though, I mean, you guys did you guys have done a couple of like modern videos that have done really well, like a Godzilla King of Monsters video.
Mad for these Godzilla. He
These Godzilla,
13,000
yeah.
on one.
13,000. Yeah,
crazy,
that's
yeah.
incredible.
For sure. And look,
Yeah.
one day I'm returning the favour. You boys are going to come have a beer at my joint and check out my collection room. I mean,
Cool.
you're not going to faint when you see it like I've just
And
about.
it won't take an hour and a half.
but that's what it's all about.
Well, all right. We're back and it's the day after Scott's big visit.
Yes.
And how do we feel?
Well, we actually feel exhausted because I can't imagine how Scott's feeling. It was for him. It was a big sensory overload. A lot to look at. I think he needed a little time out just to absorb the amount of stuff we've got here to see. So Scott went round and he did his own video and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think he was just time pressed to fit everything in. It's really to do it extensively, we need to sort of like slowly go through it and I can explain what it is, where I might have picked it up from over my travels and
it's like it's a bit like a play date. Like we've all communicated over social media. And to meet someone for the first time, you want to know all about each other, and so we had a lot to talk about. It was fantastic.
It was a big day. I mean,
huge.
We spent hours and hours just talking about toys.
Yeah.
And I think Scott stayed for tea, and I think we were just all virtually buggered.
We were, yeah. So we all slept, and we all wanted to finish it, record closes for each of our videos, but we're just too tired. We couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So that's why we've come back the next day just to
end
to film it and say thank you very much, Scott, for coming down and meeting us.
Yes, it was an absolute pleasure to meet another fellow YouTuber who's passionate about toys and
and a great guy.
Yeah, and an absolute lovely guy. Yeah.
So it was great to finally meet him. So and we're definitely going to be hanging out again soon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Into the Crusher Cave, I think we've all agreed to see. All right, so thank you very much for tuning in and watching this very special Keep On Collecting video collaboration with Scott Crusher.
Yep.
We enjoyed it. He enjoyed it. We've had a great time. We're pooped. So thank you very much for watching. Stay safe out there. And as Andrew and I always say,
keep on collecting.